Hey girl, it's Kaya, and welcome back to Girly Trinkets. I am excited, one, because we're almost to episode 10. I believe that today is episode 9. Um, and I just realized it took me 9 episodes, 9 times hanging out with my girls to realize that I really been giving y'all a lot of gems, a lot of advice, a lot of personal info. Um, and so I'm gonna try my hardest. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna kind of gauge the community basically. I am going to ask the girls a question on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook of scenarios that they're going through that they want advice on, and me and my sisters are going to respond to them. Now, it might only be me because me and my sisters are really struggling to get together, but I really want them on the podcast. I really want them to sit down with us and hang out with us because my sisters are my first friends, as I've explained multiple times before. And we are, honestly, when I finish recording this, I'm actually going to hang out with them right now. And so I want to give y'all the best of the best of the best and the good energy, the good vibes, and just really knowledgeable and realistic understanding and different views. Like me and my sisters are not exactly the same. We have a lot of views that we think a lot. Somebody help me. I'm supposed to be a teacher. So basically we do have things that we think alike, but we're really different people, but really similar in enough of way of friend would be, if that makes sense, and close sisters. So I'm going to ask Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, what is a scenario that you're going through that you want advice on? What's questions that you have about girlhood and womanhood? And then we kind of just going to answer those questions and give our opinion and advice on certain situations. Y'all, please help a girl out. Give us some tea. Give us some good scenarios. Give us some good questions that we really can get into it. That way all the girls will get to um, get advice and answers for things that they maybe are too afraid to ask or too scared to ask. Okay. So, oh my God, y'all, I went on a tangent and I really just forgot. Wait, did I say what I was meant to say? Well, what I originally was going to say, and I don't know if I said it, y'all, when you have children, I believe they take a piece of their brain when they exit you. Like, they take a piece of your brain with you. Because, like, I was telling my mama yesterday, like, my memory is shot. My sister said I made her bouquet for her wedding. Y'all, I didn't even remember making it, and I didn't remember what it looked like. I had to go find a picture for my sister's wedding. That's something I should have remembered. But basically, it took me 9 episodes to remember that I don't want just to be an advice giver and a gem dropper. I really want to be in conversation with my girls. And that's why I'm going to do the polls, the questions, and try to see, where y'all at. What are some things y'all going through and what some questions that y'all have. Because don't nobody like that friend that's just like advice. Don't nobody like that. We like friends who listen. We like friends who are there for us. We like friends who are on topic and on brand to the vibe, to the conversation. Read the room, girl. So that's basically what I want to do. But today, I'm just rambling. I'm like that TikTok that's using, what's that TikTok that's using Beyonce voice? I didn't have no pen or paper. I was like, press record. And I'm just doing this uncut. Like, I don't have any rough draft. I usually have something written up there with the outline and all that, but we're just hanging today because I've had a busy week, and sometimes it's like you just need to breathe. Like, I literally yesterday had to force myself to sit still because I was about to do more and more and more, and I was just like, let me just go to bed, or like let me just lay down. And I feel like sometimes we're so worried about what's the next thing that we can do, or next thing that we can say, and being productive and all that type stuff. But like sometimes when you sit still, I can't tell you how many times my husband's like, "Are you gonna sit down?" And it's like I can't stop. It's embedded in me to like do, and that's just not realistic for my body. If I want a long lasting healthy body, if I want to I feel like look and feel young longer, God willing, of course, but I feel a part of that is giving myself appropriate sleep, but also appropriate rest to just be, just exist. And just being and existing is enough. And not feeling like if I'm just being or just existing, I need to be worried about the next thing or thinking about the next thing or whatever. And I'm not saying be a procrastinator or be lazy or do nothing. What I'm saying is find space and find time to do that, because if not, you'll look around and years will pass you by. You'll look around and you don't remember making your sister a wedding bouquet, and that's just real. You'll look around and 3 years have passed you by. So you don't want to do that. You want to rest your mind, rest your body, and that's biblical too. Like, rest is biblical, and we need to rest. Also, I'm just rambling because um, I had a sort of, I guess, emotional breakthrough this week, and it was like very refreshing. Like, I had a heavy weight on me, and I'm not saying that that weight is not on me. God is working on me and working, you know, on that, but a piece of the weight was lifted out. Like, say if the weight was like, uh, baby, I'm gonna give it 1,000 pounds, okay? It could have been more than that, but say if the weight was like 1,000 pounds, um, I feel like it's more of, let's say, 400 pounds. It don't feel like 1,000 pounds anymore. It feel like 400 pounds. And I know 400 pounds is still it's heavy, but it's not as heavy as 1,000 pounds. And I feel like what really helped me with that was, one, I did like a lot of praying. I was like, God, see me through. And I feel like often we forget. I'm not gonna say we forget about prayer, but like, prayer is like, you thank God for waking you up, and then before you go to bed, you kind of, say your prayer, and then, when you pray before you eat or whatnot. But like, pray without season. I feel like sometimes when we get a little bit of weight taken off of us, we stop praying about it. And that's pretty much what I did with this situation. Like, it felt lighter, it didn't feel as heavy, right? Because it used to be 10,000 pounds. So it started feeling much, much lighter. But what I started noticing was some of the same patterns, some of the same routines, some of the same questions, some of the same actions and concerns and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, something got to change, because I never want to feel that 10,000 pound again. And so I really had that weight lifted off of me today, not today, but this week, through prayer without praying without ceasing, as well as realizing like I can't really control or contribute to changing people, changing their actions, what they say, what they do. I mean, you definitely can influence, but you can't really do that. Like, sometimes people will not get it when you want them to get it, and when they will not see it when you want them to see it. And I feel like I was waiting on that, but it was allowing me to fall into my same patterns, my same actions of hovering and control and worry and anxiety and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, something got changed. So for me, what are those things that can change? One, you stop praying. So you need to pray without ceasing, right? Because just because it's 1,000 pounds instead of 10 pounds doesn't mean that, you should stop praying about it or it's like resolved. No, it also don't mean that your emotions are fully not feeling that way anymore because something happened and it'll trigger you. So, you know, and yeah, I was like, my actions have to change. I have to start thinking different, moving different, being different. And yeah, it was hard. It was hard, but I feel 400 pounds instead of 1,000 pounds, right, of weight. And so I'm still working through it. God's still working on it. But like, it feels lighter. It feels better. And I'm making a conscious effort. Sometimes because I am an emotional person. Like, I'm super sensitive. Like, baby, I will have tears welling up in the back of my eyes over something so slight. I think that I often lead with that. Instead of allowing God to use that as a strength, it becomes my weakness. My emotions become my weakness because they control my actions, they control my words, my thoughts, how I move, how I view myself, how I view others. And I'm not saying that is totally incorrect, but it becomes a negative thing when you lead with that and you're not being intentional with it or aware about it and what is it contributing to and what is it making you do, I guess, if that makes sense. So rest, girl. Get your rest this week. That's all I got to say. My girls, my girls, my girls, take time to rest. Rest your brain, rest your body, rest your emotions. Just rest. Just rest. And then after you rest, just kind of think, what are you overdoing? Oh, I also watched an amazing video, and it just came to my brain, so of course I can't think of who video it was. But there's a video on YouTube talking about the different systems of life. That's my problem right there. Because I lead with my emotions, it's more of like, what am I feeling? And my emotions are affecting how I'm moving. And my brain gets really cluttered because I'm also an overthinker. And so, honestly, but they was talking about different systems and how the reason why you feel exhausted all the time is because you don't have no systems. And so that video, thank you God, that video really put my brain into a kick of a gear too, in addition to, the heaviness and the emotional part of like basic organization of like, what day am I gonna do laundry? And I need to stick to it. What day feels most lighter, or like what routine, whether that's like doing it on Monday and Wednesdays, or whether that's doing a load a day, whatever the case may be. What are systems, or am I just living by the seat of my tail? I mean, what's the saying? I don't know the saying, but I know what saying I'm trying to say. Are you just living like that? And then some things it's like, even when it comes down to sitting down to hang out with you guys, because I constantly am telling my mama and my husband that I want it to feel like we just hanging, we just chilling. I don't want it to be so structured, so I'm afraid of like setting a strict schedule. But truly, even with something like this, it's like, okay, what days are you going to sit down and hang out with the girls? And what day are you going to make sure that, and what day you're going to, promote and drop little gems to them throughout the week. Like, my mom like, girl, what you doing? And it's like, you're right, what am I doing? And so even with that, because now my mind feels cluttered because I feel rushed and I got other things on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and that even goes with like, oh, she was even talking about your wardrobe. Like, you have, your wardrobe and what you eat. She was talking about having decision fatigue because you haven't picked like a certain style. Like, what's 2 or 3 styles that you like, and then what's the color, schemes that you like the most, or like the type of colors that you like the most. That way, when you go shopping, you know, like certain stuff that you like, and you won't buy stuff you don't like. But also your wardrobe that you wear throughout your work week or for whatever events, you don't feel like you have to make a huge decision in the morning to pick out what you wear, because one, you need to be finding your clothes the night before, but also because of your wardrobe is consistent, as like has a certain look or has a certain style to it, that'll bring down those decision fatigue. Now, if you are a person with no children, no spouse, and honestly not too much on your plate, then that might not matter, and you might can be a little bit. But me, as a creative and as a person that has a lot going on in their life, I feel like that works really well for me. Like having a consistency of this is a style I like. And I don't know if I explained my style before to y'all, but like I hope we got a simpler style. But if we don't, I love to see people who just genuinely dress like themselves and be themselves. So basically, I would say my style is more of 90s and 2000s. I have a sprinkled 70s and 80s in there before, but like truly 90s and 2000s. A lot of my staple pieces and stuff that I wear kind of vibes around that. But this week, I cleaned out my closet. Woo! I cleaned out my closet and I literally was like, girl, are you going to wear that? Because another thing I struggle with is when you... Another thing is I struggle with is sometimes when you are working on your wardrobe to like all be cohesive in styles that you like, it's like trying to identify, does this piece work with the 90s style, right? Does this piece work with the 2000 styles? And then on top of that, because some pieces, they just what they are and you don't know. But the thing is, if you take those pieces out of your closet before you build your wardrobe up, then like you don't have that random little dress to wear to church. You might not even have any dress to wear to church. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I have to keep certain pieces. So what I did was, when I cleaned out my closet and my drawers, I basically was like, have I worn this? And if I haven't worn it, it gotta go. It went into that bag to go to the thrift store. So I did that. And then my second thought was, is this, even though this doesn't goes with the 90s or early 2000 styles, which is one of your favorite styles, and it's not that I don't wear stuff from other eras or other decades, but that's just kind of my top two, because I was born in 95 and raised in the early 2000s, so why wouldn't that be my style? Anyways, is this something you could just throw on? Like, even though it doesn't fit with 90s or 2000s, is this something that you could just throw on? And then another thing, like vintage pieces. So my grandma gave me a dress, and the way it's shaped, I would say is more of a maybe 70s style, like the shape of it. But it's a really pretty church dress. I kept that one because it's from my late grandma, but also because like it's a dress and it's cute and it's something I can wear to church without thinking about it. So yeah, so that's what I did. But basically, yeah, that's what the woman was talking about. She was talking about really lowering your decisions or setting up certain systems so that your decisions throughout the week will feel less demanding, chaotic, or stressful. And then the other one was like with the food, which I do that. Is deciding 3 dinners and 2 lunches for the week, or 3 dinners and 2 breakfasts maybe. But I do a certain routine like that, but I feel like sometimes I can't think of what I want to eat that week. And so I just go into the store and say, I'm just going to get a thing of chicken and a beef. And then I don't know what size, whatever. And then I struggle throughout the week to decide what I want to eat. I know some people struggle with, like, I don't have a taste for that. But when you really are trying to decrease the decision and the exhaustion from all the decisions you got to make, especially when you're a teacher, you got to make decisions every doggone day of your life, and you got to talk to 300,000 people every day of your life. It's exhausting. And so the last thing you want to do is be thinking about something else when you go for work. And so if you are those people, then really doing that thing of where, like, she said she sit down on a Saturday or a Sunday and she's like, this is what we're going to eat. And then she plans it out. She go to the grocery store, get all those items, nothing more, nothing less. And so she said that also saves a lot of money as well, because you're not buying stuff on the fly or going to the grocery store multiple times during the week, or buying stuff that you don't need. You know what I'm saying? And I keep a running list in my phone of, like, right now I know I need pepper and garlic powder and onion powder. Like, I know I need those because when I run out of stuff, I just, like, kind of write it in the list in my phone. So doing stuff like that too, so it's not like, oh, you get to the store and you trying to remember what you're gonna do. But anyways, that's all the rambling that I'm kind of gonna do today. I don't know if you get anything from this. Just know, please comment down below. Send me a message on TikTok at Girly Trinkets Podcast, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Sakaya Sade, and basically just let me know a scenario that you need advice on or any questions you need answered. As well as the second thing I want you to get from hanging out with me today is rest your mind, rest your body. The third thing I wanted you to get is try not to lead with your emotions this week. See what will happen if you take the time to be intentional, be aware, and make decisions like after. How are you feeling? What are you going through? What is happening? And then respond or act or move. Don't let your emotions control you, control what you do. And number 4, choose some systems like the laundry, the food, the wardrobe, your work schedule, your calendar, whatever that you can work on and put in place so that you don't feel so overwhelmed, so stressed, so exhausted. Because I want you to be well rested when we hang out. So go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and like, because it really supports me, and I'm really trying to go up and up and up. And I just appreciate y'all for coming to hang out with me every week. And I'll see y'all on the next week. Bye.